one time. You make me happy.
Love you, buddy.
Hey, you get off my cloud. All that negativity ain't gonna be bringing me down. Just keeping positive's a motto to the end. Hand out the window on the highway, riding the wind. Yep. Got scrappy in that old Kentucky playpen. When looking back now, I'm left wondering where them days went. Away went for sure, yeah, they spin. When they hates when I'm waving with that Honolulu hang 10. I'm just doing what I want. Mountains there to climb on. Sometimes you make it, sometimes you dive on. The prize must be what you keep your eyes on. A focused mind like I studied under masters up in Taiwan. Let that truth hit you. Tunes get jujitsu. Don't bitch, dude. You lace them up if that shoe fits you. We with you. Man, sometimes you gotta fix you. But no excuses, no din-dos. Man, just lay back and turn it up. Ray, word 'em up. Working on his farmer's tan underneath the burning sun. We gonna ride this cover wagon till its last wheel. Gotta love it when the music sounds just like the grass feels. Hey, you get off my cloud. All that negativity ain't gonna be bringing me down. Just keeping positive's a motto to the end. Hand out the window on the highway, riding the wind. Hey, you get off my cloud. All that negativity ain't gonna be bringing me down. Just keeping positive's a motto to the end. Hand out the window on the highway, riding the wind. Hey yo, Ray. 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 Hey yo, Ray.
Let's go. Knuckles to the guys in the group. Knuckles to the ladies in the group. What's going on, people? Day 18. Today is a great day. Happy Monday, everybody. Glad you are here on this Monday. Boy, it is cold out. Did you see how cold it is out there? I had to put a toboggan on. You know what I'm saying right here? I got James over there in England. He's freezing his balls off, and I'm getting cold. I had to put a toboggan on. Still got the old, nice little tank top going, but I had to put the toboggan on. This is what I like to call a D-Wag special. You know, Darren? D-Wag, he's got all the brown toboggans and beanies and stuff, so I had to put mine back on too. I dug it out the closet, gonna make use of it for maybe 1 or 2 weeks, and then it'll be hot as balls here again. You know, how funny is that? Okay, that's pretty funny. Well, how's everybody doing today? I'm doing good. Are you doing good? I'm excited. Are you excited? I might have had 1 or 2 too many Irish cream coffees last night, okay? Now, the funny thing is I had one of my bartender experts come up to me, and he said, Ray, I got something to tell you. I said, oh, really? You seem like you're a bit concerned. He said, I am a little concerned, Ray. I said, oh, I'm going to take a swig of my coffee. We'll get to it. I said, what's the problem? He said, now, Ray, you were talking about Irish coffees on there. I said, I did talk about Irish coffees in my last video. And that was a great video, by the way. If you didn't know how to make eggs 3 ways, go watch it. If you've just been dumped, go watch it. If you had your heart broken, go watch it. K-Rads, wrong pipe. K-Rads came in and said, hey, he really loves them scrambled eggs. They're the best. And so I was like, K-Rads, you right, bro. I got to do the scrambled eggs, but make it with a breakfast burrito with habanero sauce, with cheese, with a little bit of bacon, and maybe some French fries. California burrito. Maybe throw some avocado on there. Oh my God, that sounds good. Anyway, shout out to K-Rads. So I was talking to my buddy, right? And he comes up to me. He's a professional bartender. He bartended all over the world and all kinds of fucking bars and shit like that. And I known him for a while. He's good at it too. He gets up to me. He's like, Ray, I take this bartending thing real serious now. I was like, oh, okay. What's the problem? He said, you were using some of that, well, what is it? Jack Daniels? I was like, yeah. He's like, that's not Irish whiskey. That's not a true Irish coffee. I said, come on, man. Give me some slack here, buddy. I said, I hate that fucking peat whiskey, that Irish whiskey that has that smoky flavor in it. I can't drink that shit. So he said, oh, okay. Well, so you know then. I said, yeah. Well, you're leading the people wrong. I said, well, back down off of it for a minute. It's all entertainment. It's an American Irish coffee, and they sure are good. And I had probably 2 or 3 too many last night, and that's okay. So if you see a little bit of like, you know, whatever going on with me today, it's because I'm trying to get my pep back up because I had a couple too many Irish coffees. Hey, that's a good problem to have, though, ain't it? So, just to be clear, you have to use Irish whiskey to make an Irish coffee, unless you don't give a fuck, and then you call everything Irish coffee. Like I call everything Coke, even though it ain't Coke. You know, well, you know what I'm saying. I'm talking about soda pop. I'm not talking about cocaine. I call Coke is Coke. You can't fuck around with that kind of stuff, okay? So how are you doing today? What's going on with you? Are you excited? You got that passion revved up? I sure hope so. I got my passion revved up. This is going to be a banger week. I tell you, a banger week. This is going to be a fantastic week, okay? We're going to have some fantastic streams. I'm really stoked about it. Not only that, it's my birthday week. What about that? On Saturday, we're going to have a little bit of a birthday stream, okay? How about them apples, okay? And we have a couple of special guests coming up. Tuesday, we got AP. He's going to come around all the way from Los Tejas. He's going to drop in and say, what's up? You know, he might even bring Pablo with him. You know, you never know. Maybe they carpool together. You know, that's pretty badass. Okay, we're going to talk to him about some creativity. Really excited to get in there and talk to him. He's maybe laughed, I don't know how many times, bro. So many times I can't even count. And then on Wednesday, I think we might have the king himself dropping by for Bruvs Unite. You know what I'm talking about? That's right, the new king of the sector, Mersh. He might be dropping by, so if the schedule permits, I'm stoked to have him drop by too. And then I think maybe on Friday we're going to have CK. I think CK is going to be back on Friday, and we're going to talk a little bit more about what the historical context of the surf culture was and what happened, how it changed. This will be our third installment, so I'm really excited to hear how that's going and what's going on with that. That'll be a lot of fun, so I'm stoked about that. And of course, then we're gonna have a little birthday stream on Saturday. Then a little, I got something special coming up for that Sunday Fun Day. Sunday Fun Day, it's gonna be called, dumped cooking. You know, dumped Thanksgiving. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a little bit of a dumped Thanksgiving. How many times have you like been dumped or whatever, and you're like, fuck this, man. It's right during the holidays. You know, and you're like, can't wait till the holidays get over with, and you're just like, oh my god. You know, I've definitely had it happen to me. I've been out there. I've just gone out and surfed for like 9 hours a day the whole fucking time. There was like Thanksgiving, the whole 2 weeks of Christmas. I just stayed out in the water and beat myself to death, ran in and ate a couple breakfast burritos and ran back out, you know. And that's what I did. And that's how I got over some of them holidays. You know, some of it's kind of rough. You know, you see everybody else having a great time. You riding your bike down the boardwalk of Hermosa, Manhattan Beach. This huge old mansions right on the ocean. You looking in. They got the Christmas tree, the Norman Rockwell family in there. They're all together. They're all wearing the same pajamas and all that kind of stuff. And they got the same this. They're giving the daughter a new car. And you're just, you know what you're doing? Yeah, you're riding by and you're just like, man, fuck you guys, right? You guys are having a great life, great family, all this kind of stuff, and here I ride my bike, you know. Gotta go up to the bar, get me 2 or 3 doubles of tequila, forget about it for a minute, you know, play some shuffleboard, whatever, you know, when I wasn't surfing or whatever. You know, that happens, right? And then you got to choose to get over it. You got to choose to be happy. You got to choose to make your own life, or else you're going to stay in that hole the whole time. But you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm doing these 30-day challenges, people. Give you something to be excited about, so that excitement changes your life. Because that's how it happens. That's how it happens. They're all masked as like art and all this kind of stuff, or cooking or whatever. It's masked as that. But what it really is that you're developing the tools to change your life. You're practicing who you want to become, okay? You're practicing who you want to become. You want to become a dad? Start practicing like a dad, okay? Start taking care of things. Start getting your, make yourself a holiday dinner, okay? They don't have to be turkey. It could be chicken. It could be whatever. Make some mashed potatoes. Make some gravy. Fuck it all up and then get better at it. See what I'm saying? So when it comes time that you got your little family, you're just like, let's go. Big Daddy here, about ready to throw down. Ba, 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 ba. And that's what it's all about, You want to be a better boyfriend or have a girlfriend? Go practice for it, okay? Get in shape. Get your shit together. Get that edge about you. Get a little bit of that mystique. Maybe we'll have James teach a couple classes on how to get that, that masculine mystique going, okay? Get that going. Get excited about it. Practice it. That's how it happens. If you're begging for it, it ain't going to work. If you're begging for it, you're the simp that nobody's going to talk to, okay? If you're trying to give something to a woman, like, here you go, it ain't going to work. Okay, you got to have that attraction, that raw animalistic attraction, right? To where like she comes over your house for Thanksgiving and you fucking throw her up on the table and you stuff that turkey, right? And then afterwards you have the turkey. You got what I'm saying, right? That's how it should be, right? She should be this quivering waiting to go. That's what we want. And of course, that's what women want too. Women want a man that makes them makes their skin pucker up. You know what I'm saying? In all the right places. You get them goosebumps running around all on you, okay? So, the 3 pillars to change your life. Be excited. What are you excited about? Okay? Keep the critical eye from knocking you back. Okay? Keep them in the hole. Impulse control. Number 3, schedule. Schedule, schedule, schedule. Nothing happens overnight. It happens slow. It happens progressively. And then what happens is this concept or this abstract thought strategy develops. It's called momentum. When momentum starts to hit, you start to amplify your gains. Okay, they start to shoot up. First, maybe a parabolic curve. Then maybe exponential curve like that. Okay, once your momentum starts to keep rolling into itself, it keeps multiplying your efforts. Okay, it doesn't happen right off the bat. In fact, you got momentum going against you right off the bat. You're trying to push that big rock up the hill like Sisyphus or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That ain't no fun. But that's how life works, people. That's how life works. And then also you set up yourself some little strategies in order to fail in small ways before you try to attempt to fail in big ways. Okay? Like today, we're going to go over some, it's all rainy outside, so I'm inside doing my thing. That's what we got to do. We ain't going to skip a beat. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep that momentum going, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to jump in. We're going to finish 3 thumbnails, okay? Now, always do something on a thumbnail size. Use that abstract thought, because if you can't produce power and electricity in a thumbnail, you'll never be able to do it in a 6-foot by 4-foot painting. Okay, it won't happen. You'll waste your time, you'll waste your money, you'll waste it all. And then you'll be frustrated and you'll be like, I'm just a fucking failure. But do that with everything, right? You're going to go ahead and make yourself a holiday meal. Well, don't go all out and buy yourself a 30-pound turkey that you ain't never done before and try to make au gratin potatoes that you ain't never done before. You'll start small, bro. Start small. Make yourself a burger and then the au gratin potatoes. Okay, so you're only making the potatoes. You fail, you fix it. Okay, I got the potatoes down, right? Then throw yourself a chicken. Just make a chicken, right? Just a chicken. Clean it out. Make a whole chicken in the oven. Bake it. Season all that. Pull it out. If you want to get that good, then you can go to a bigger bird. You got me? Don't throw all in on this thing that you think you're going to pull off what it took grandma years to master. Okay, it took her years to master, to be able to do the turkey, do the dressing, do the stuffing, do the gravy, do the biscuits, do the vegetables, do the salads, do the pumpkin pie, do the pecan pie, all the mold, all that good stuff. So start building your bricks, bro. That's what I'm saying. How do you build your bricks? You get excited, all right? You don't build bricks around things you ain't excited about, because you ain't want that life. You don't want that life. That'll turn into hell and misery. You'll burn out. So be excited. Build your bricks around that. Make sure you keep your critical eye at bay, impulse control, and then finally keep your schedule going. Okay, that's how you get it together. That is exactly how you get your shit together. That's how you attract women. That's how you get good fortune. That's how you get a better job. That's how you get friends. That's the whole ball of wax right there. Okay, whole ball of wax right there. Are you going to get it right the first time? No. But buck up and let's fucking go. Come on. You know what I'm saying? Let's get some thicker skin, people. So anyway, what I'm going to do now is we're going to jump down here and get these thumbnails done. Okay, I'm going to show you. We're going to go to Balboa Park. It's going to be awesome. Now, I talked to Neil Whitehead on Friday. I don't know if you guys heard that. If you didn't hear it, go back and watch that shit. It was awesome, man. And Neil was talking about, having light, loose lines, putting down all kinds of lines, and then picking which ones you want, keeping them light and loose. And I think that he does, uses ink, and then I think he does use his pencil. I'm not sure if he uses his pencil or not. But that's what we're going to kind of do today. We're going to do this first thumbnail, and we're just going to keep it light and loose. Now, the star of this thumbnail is going to be the canopy or the umbrellas in the foreground. Okay, that's going to be the star. Okay, so we're going to put a couple of these guys in here, like so, and then you got the tables underneath them, like that. Doop, 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 doop. Make all that good sound effect quality you want. Maybe a couple people in here, and then use simple shapes. Simple shapes are your friend, people. Gonna have the. Don't worry about messing up. Don't worry about if that line's too thick or it's too small. Edit it around. I'm editing this this guy around. If you can't tell, right now as we speak, I'm editing him because I'm trying to fit him in this format. By him, I mean the image. I'm trying to fit him in this format, and I can already tell I'm gonna exceed the format, but that's okay, draw it up anyway. Okay, we gotta fix it, we gotta fix that, we gotta pull that over, there we go, we got it fixed. All right, see what I mean? Don't worry, when you worry, it all falls apart. Don't worry, it's great, okay? And then we got a cool little palm tree over here like this, you know, I don't know, whatever you want to make your palm tree look like. We got a couple of little, nice little bushes over there. We got the fountain right here, like so. Boom, boom, boom. And then we got the street back here. Got this over here. Just throw it in. Just have fun. Just think about the pieces, and then there you go. You got it. Let me just go ahead and get that going like that, okay? Now that looks pretty good. All right, now we could either mask it off, or we can not mask it off. Since we did not mask it off last time, I am gonna mask it off this time. Now you'll notice we got some of that other watercolor coming in on this one, but we don't care. It's just a little bit, it's gonna be a little bit of texture, okay? And I might even try to do this like Neil does it. You know, I really love how he does his watercolor. They're so contemporary looking, but they still have that air of fine art about them. Now on Saturday, I'm gonna talk about some of my favorite artists, one or two of them. I got a whole ton of them. I got books and books and books. I'll break out a couple books and we'll talk about it. One book in particular was one of my favorite presents that I got for my birthday a while back, okay? And it's Jerome Leloup. And I've talked about him before. He does gouache, and he used to ride around Paris in his bike just painting landscapes. And the thing I liked about him so much, besides, you know, what he did and his different types of art style, was the color palette that he used. He used a color palette that was so nice that you rarely see, and you'll see what I'm talking about when I pull it up, okay? Now make sure you get your squirty bottle. I got mine right here. I'm gonna wake up my watercolor. I'm just gonna pull them over here. And of course I got my 4 brushes and that patented, you know, that patented 4th brush that's top secret that I might be, you know, making a patent about. You know, it's not, people don't know about that brush, okay? They don't know nothing about that brush, do they? No, they don't know. All right, so I'm gonna get my big brush wet. Now I'm gonna get my small brush, or my medium brush wet, and then we're gonna get off to it, okay? Now, the first thing I wanna do when I'm looking up there is I'm like, I wanna put these big fat shadows right underneath the chair right here. I'll put those in, just a couple of shadows just like that, okay? Then what I wanna do is I want to, you know, I was really taken when Neil said, you know, people are saying, Neil, the sky's not whatever you call it, green. I think he painted a green sky, and he said, I just did it because I felt that way. Okay, so let's go ahead and add a red sky with a little bit of orange in it, just because I feel that way. All right, you can do that. You got me, people? You can just do that. You can do whatever you want. That's what this is all about. Do whatever you want. Okay, now these are primary, secondary colors because I have orange mixed with the red. It's going to be a little bit of tertiary color. I'm just going to go ahead and get the brush wet and kind of mix it around a little bit. Kind of get a good range in that wash. Okay, might have to come back down in here and add a little bit so it doesn't look so weird. Okay, I'm going to take up some of these beads, get rid of them. All right. Now, I'd like a really nice gray for the warm gray. So I'm going to mix a little bit of a warm gray for this guy. And that's something I really noticed, is that some of Neil's washes were very subtle. So I really like that. Okay, so we're going to keep that nice and subtle, like so. We're going to push these back with this warm gray. Might even cool it down just a little bit with a little bit more blue, like so. You know, cool the whole, wash the whole thing down. All right, like that. There we go. Okay. Now we want to warm up the street close to us, so we're going to put a little yellow with that gray. It's going to come up here, like so, warm up that street. Okay. Now I'm going to leave the part of the fountain white, so it pops out. All right. There we go. Got some of that right there. Move some of that around. Okay. Now there are a couple of like the dome. I didn't draw on the dome with the pen because I was gonna fiddle with it with the watercolor. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. Draw the dome in the back.
fiddle with it just a bit. Because sometimes I can't make a nice, you know, a nice circle with the pen. It just gets all oblong. But I can keep fiddling with it with the watercolor. Now I'm gonna let this drain down there. Okay, I'm gonna let it drain down like that. Now look, it's washing out pretty solid right there. You can kind of not really see it too well. So I want to reinforce it. Maybe bring a little turquoise pop, and it's gonna keep running like that. Now remember, you have to manage the wetness of the paper. Okay, remember that. Right? No big deal. We can do that, can't we? Yeah, no problem. Now let's use some of these to maybe put like a little doorways in there. You know, maybe redden it up a little bit. That may warm up that to be a purple. Do it over here. Okay. Now what I want is a strong yellow for one of these umbrellas. I'm gonna put him right here. Alright. Then what I want is a strong turquoise for that other umbrella. Put that right here. Alright. Then I want a strong red. But I want to adjust the red, so I'm going to go with the alizarin red, because I haven't used that on this page yet. Not the rose red, just the alizarin. There we go. And that's okay. Let the brushes let the watercolor go where it wants to go. All right. We're going to be a little bit loose. We want to be loose. We want to be Neil Whitehead loose. All right. Yeah. He does a really good job. Might have to get one of his paintings. You never know, people. I was kind of thinking about that the other day. All right, now let's come in here. Let's put in some of this, some of these trees. Now those trees might be a little bit too warm, but that's okay. Let's put it down, and we'll come back. That color might be too crisp, so we have to desaturate it with purple. Come back in. Yeah, there we go. That's better. See how that kind of just folds back into the background when you desaturate that color? The value's the same, but you just desaturate the color. All right, now we're going to use that same wash for the palm tree over here. All right, no big deal. Just kind of get her in there, get her good. Okay, okay. Let it dry for a second. Clean up the bead. All right, now let's get a couple of these purples. To make some of these windows pop. I want this window to pop, this window to pop. Anything else? Yeah, there's a little bitty window right about there. Okay. Now let's add a couple of shadows right there. One right there. Maybe some over here. I like how that umbrella washed out right there. That looks really good. And we want to strengthen up the shadow in the foreground. Go ahead and grab the dark blue, which is our French ultramarine. Grab a little bit of that alizarin crimson. More blue. Cool it down a little bit. And just come in here and just highlight some of these shadows. Or underscore some of the shadows. Don't try to paint the whole thing. Notice how I left the variance of the shadows in there. Okay. And if you don't like that hard edge, you can come back and soften her up a little bit. No big deal. Now the final thing I want to do is I want to pop a really bright green down in there for the flowers that are just back here on top of the fountain. Okay, so we're just going to do this right here, like so. Okay. You might want to add a little bit of a darker green in the shadows back here. You can tell the paper's not quite ready to receive it yet. It's too damp still. So we can move on. Let me make it look gray for that street. A blue, a little bit of that warm purplish color. We're gonna put it right in here. Just give it an indication of the street. So there we go. That's better. It kind of makes that brightness pop out even more. Okay. All we're trying to do is give a thumbnail. All right. All we're trying to do is give a hint of the scene. Right. We're trying to capture it. We don't want it to be exact because, you know, a lot like what Neil was talking about. You want the viewer to participate with their imagination. You get what I'm saying? You want them to say, "Oh, I think I know what that is," or "Oh, I think that looks like I think he said a cat in the clouds or whatever. That looks like a cat right there." Or, "Oh, that looks like something, you know, that looks like where a little man might be poking out of that window right there." You want that. You want that in your painting. If you don't have it in your painting, you have to loosen up so you can get it in your painting. Okay. All right. a quick look and see what we got. We got a little bit of a, you could do a little bit of this green, pop it over here, give it a little counterbalance, a little bush action over there. And then I'm waiting for the paper to dry so I can finish off on this this right here. Get a little green, but you want a little red in it to kind of muck it up a bit. There we go. You want to bring that palm tree to life. Remember, it's just a thumbnail. Just a thumbnail. Alright, so there we go right there. Now the other thing we can do finally is we can strengthen a couple of those shadows. Get some of that dark French ultramarine again. Come in here. Pick out a couple of shadows in the background. Like so. Lighten it up just a tad. Maybe strengthen it around that umbrella. There we go. These are all just decisions I'm making based upon my interpretation, what I want to highlight inside of the watercolor. Okay. Now I don't want to linger too long on this because again, it's just a thumbnail. We're trying to get it to read right. We're just trying to get it to, look like a little bit of an artsy-fartsy version of the scene that we see. Now I still think I might need to strengthen up them umbrellas just a tad bit. And then we'll move on to the next one. Okay. There we go. I know, James, you're barking at me. You're saying, Ray, what are you doing? You already spent like 7 minutes on this thing. Maybe it's 5 minutes. I don't know. Get with it. Get to the next one, Ray. I got you, James. Working on it. All right. See, that's when the critical eye could be used to help you. You know, you let it kind of help drive you forward. But you got to master it first. You got to get that impulse control first. Because otherwise, it'll beat the shit out of you. All right. Okay, so there we go. We got a fun little thumbnail right there. Okay. And we adjusted the sky. We changed the sky around. Doesn't that look fun? All right. Now we're going to move on to the next one. And these are the kind of things that you practice on a rainy day. Okay. You don't get all mad at yourself. You learn that, like, look how cool that is when the wash interacts with the wash behind it. It looks all cool and it does really fun stuff. And you remember that, okay? So that you use it for the next time. That's the kind of shit that nobody can teach you. Nobody can teach you that kind of stuff, man. You have to learn that stuff on your own. You get what I'm saying? You got to learn that stuff through experience or whatever, okay? Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and get out my pen again, my magical pen. Don't tell anybody about what kind of pen I got. This pen's magical, okay? Don't tell them it's the Copic Multiliner SP.7. Don't tell them. Now I find I tend to love the thicker pens. You know, fine pens are great, but man, for some reason I beat up the nib so quick, and it just like makes me mad. You know what I mean? And I get mad pretty easy. So let's see. We got making this little. This is the botanical garden. Okay, people. Botanical garden. I don't know. It's got some complex shapes in it just to do a thumbnail. I already blew it. It's okay. Oh, I gotta scoot it over. Sorry about that. Whoop, there we go. I probably already blew it because I probably already made it too big. All right, but it's okay. We'll get through it. All right, we'll figure it out. Maybe we're doing a nice little crop, little crop session. All right, so there's the top of it right there. It's gonna go like that, and up here like so, and then right here we got some bushes, and then we got some shadows. We got this beautiful green grass coming up like that. Going, let's see, how's it go? Like this, right here. And we got that right there, like that. Then we got this right here. This, like that. So we zoomed in, okay, people? We zoomed in on it. This right here, we zoomed in on it. Okay, so we zoomed in on it. You'll see it when I have it up here in the thumbnail. I'll probably put I'll put it like right here. Then what you got is you got this tree right here might be a star. This bush might be a star. The grass is definitely going to be popping, and we'll go from there. Okay, we'll figure it out as we go. All right. figure it out as we go. Figure it out as she presents herself. And that's kind of what you do. You kind of look for whichever thing stands out. It could be a value that stands out. It could be a shape that stands out. It could be a color that stands out. And in this sense, it's probably going to be the colors. You know, because on a thumbnail, the colors are very powerful. The colors and values are the most important, right? Well, the values first, but then the colors. But we're not worried about that. We're worried more about it. There we go. All right, so let's jump right in here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a nice warm wash of that red orange over the whole fucking thing. All right, boom, 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 boom. Alright. Okay, so there we go. We got the botanical part, okay? Now what I want to do is I want to put a really strong blue counterpoint to that. And I want it to be in the top. You get turquoise and cobalt, and then mix the two together. I really like that color combination. We just go ahead and put it in there. Boom. It's just peeking in there. Peeking in. See how that goes right there? Okay. Now we're going to do some of this grass right here. Might want to even go stronger than that, so grab some of your yellow. Lime yellow and hooker's green is a good combo for this. So see how strong that is? Pop it in there like that. You got some other grass over there. Just, you know, you can mix it around, get it all nasty. Mix your wash around into other colors and give you nice little variants of green that you probably never even thought you could come up with. But you can come up with it. It's no big deal. Okay. Then we'll go ahead, just a little bit more blue-green on the bushes. So grab a little more of that blue-green, maybe a little red in there. And come up in here and throw some in the bushes. Alright, throw some of that palm tree. You getting it? Right. Now we're going to come down in here, some of this yellow, some of this goldenrod, or I use yellow ochre. Knock it back a bit. When I say knock it back, I mean mix in like a purple, just a little bit of purple. Now it looks like the path is a little bit more red. Put that in there. Put that in there. Put that in. Bam. Okay. Now what we want is some of these shadows. So grab some of that. I'm gonna go with a little cobalt magenta. Maybe mix a little bit orange with it, kind of muck it up a bit and get it to look good. Alright, then we're going to go ahead and throw in the first shadow right here. Kind of go over right there. We can put in some of those slats, like so. Get that. Now I need this shadow right here. And this shadow right here. Okay, and this shadow right here. And then I need some of the shadow over here. And of course I need some shadow right here behind these trees. Like so. Okay. Like that. Now let's throw in a little shadow at the bottom right here, you know. A little shadow on the back for good times. Red, get a little bit more of that red, darker red color for the top right here, because that's what it looks like. Get a little bit on this side, that's what it looks like. Kind of push this back. Make sure you protect that light right there. Get rid of him. There we go. And it's starting to come together. Grab some brown. We're gonna go put the doors in. Grab some brown with that yellow ochre, and look up here to find the doors. There's one right there. There's one right there. Now remember, we're focusing mostly on position and what is it? Position and there's that other P word. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there we go. There we go. Proportion. Position and proportion is what we're focused on. Okay, people. So let's go ahead and let's grab some more of this like bright green for these bushes. Mix it in with our blue. We got it right here. Those are, the first wash is going to be our midtones. Okay, we're going to leave those alone. We're going to come in here, or even our lights on the bushes. If you squint and look, you'll see that the bushes are really all midtones except for the shadows. shadows are quite a bit darker, even if it looks light. See what I mean? One of my favorite artists, John Singer Sargent, he paints some fantastic parks. Just absolutely love him. I've always been enthralled with his parks. Put this tree up in here. I've always been like, oh my God, I want to paint parks like he paints parks. His watercolors are phenomenal. One of the reasons I even love watercolors so much is because of John Singer Sargent. A lot of his watercolors. And I look for his watercolors sometimes a lot more than I look for his oil painting, believe it or not. All right, so we're going to come back in here. We're going to strengthen up some of these shadows. They're looking good right now. We can strengthen up a couple of parts of them, like this big arch right here. Let's strengthen that up a little bit. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. One of these slats we can straighten up, strengthen up rather. Okay. Now this guy should be strengthened up. Okay. Got a couple of indications. You know, I probably could have gone with a smaller brush to do that. It's going to bleed out, so that's going to be nice. It's going to bleed out. Now let's go ahead and increase the blue in that wash, and let's come down here and put some more of these shadows in, okay, behind these bushes right here. Let me get this bead out of here. Get out of here, bee. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, get out of here, bee. Okay. Now it looks like that bush right here is going to be the star of the show, so let's let him dry really quick. And then come back in and put a little bit more definition into it. So I'll come into the grass and I'll throw in some more yellow, some more vibrancy, saturate it a bit more. Okay, so it looks good. I want to revisit the doors on the front. They look like they washed out a bit. It's because they did, no big deal. Let's just go ahead and do a couple little touches in there. It's okay if they wash out. It's just suggesting. A lot of watercolor is about suggesting. You know, it's about that. It's very ethereal, very whimsical. You know, it's a very beautiful fluid, obviously because it's watercolor, a fluid medium, and that's kind of what you want to lean into that strength. Don't try to fight it. Don't try to paint it like it's an oil painting. You get your damn ass kicked. Hand it to you. Okay? Just lean into what its strength is. And if you don't like painting like this, then hell, maybe don't do watercolor. Find maybe acrylic is more your game. You know what I mean? You might find that that's the case. And that's okay. We can still be friends. We can still be friends. I won't hate you. I'm just kidding. I'll hate you anyway. That's right. All right. Let's throw some of these shadows at the bottom just to kind of give it a little bit more definition. Now that one's going to wash out. We'll let it wash out. It'll add a little bit of interest, a little bit of variance in the lawn there. We like that. We like variance. We're just about done. I just got to come back in and add the shadows, and you'll see it really come to life when we remove that tape. You'll see how much it comes to life. I'm going to push this back, make it a little bit darker. Okay. I'm going to make this one over here a little bit cooler. There we go. It'll make a big deal because that one will stand out. This could probably still be a little bit cooler. And when I squint at it, it's a little too hot. So let me cool it down a little bit. There we go. I get rid of this white right here. Don't want him in there. Okay. All right, now we're pulling up right here. So we got to absorb those or this guy's never going to dry. Okay. So we got that going right there. We could just leave it as it is, really. It looks really nice right now. So for the sake of time, we'll move on to the next one. Okay. So we'll take off the tape. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let's see how nice that looks. There's plenty of room in there for your imagination to work. Plenty of room in there. And you can even add little people in there if you wanted to. Hell, we can go ahead and grab some of this this magical brush I have right here. See that right there? Ever seen a brush like this? Let's go ahead and come up in here and get some blue and some purple. Let's see if we can't add a little bit of people or something. I don't know. Add a little texture. See what that's doing? It's kind of just making it even more ethereal, more whimsical. See how that worked right there? Now when that's going to dry, you're really going to see what that looks like. All right, so let's jump on over to the third and final thumbnail of a Balboa Park. This is my favorite places, the lily pond. Okay, now we're going to definitely have to augment this up. Let's see if I can't move this a little bit better. Move this over. There we go. Let's see, can we get this like this? What are we doing right there? All right. Okay, that'll work. That'll work. It's kind of funny for me to paint like that. It's a pretty strong angle, but we'll make it. We'll get her done. We'll get her done, people. All right, there we go. All right, there we go. Now, I absolutely love this scene right here. It's one of my favorite scenes. It's basically the water. Okay, so let's find the horizontal. Yeah, I know that's not horizontal exactly. You know, we're going to squinch, or we're going to, you know, change up this a little bit, because the dimension doesn't match what I have as far as my my little thumbnail. This is obviously a very wide image, and so we have to make some adjustments. We have to edit it as we go. Okay, there we go. We got that. You're gonna have the this right here. Where's that? Oh, this is gonna be right here. This is gonna be right. Where's that? Right here. Okay. Then we got this guy right there. This guy right there. We just got trees and stuff back here. Got something in the middle. Something in the middle. Got the little king hat on top of it. Okay. Then we got you know, a little path action right here. Okay. Then we got our lily pond right here. We'll leave that alone because we'll work with our reflection. All right. First thing I want to do is I want to come in here and I want to tackle that reflection straight away, because I know that's going to be the focal point of this entire image. So we're going to go ahead and get a little purple in there, and we're going to go ahead and get this like this. All right, and we're probably going to work back and forth with this wet on wet a couple of times. Okay. So then I want to get some blue and acrylic and blue turquoise kind of thing. We're going to come in here like this, and we're going to let this just kind of work itself. Let gravity do the work and pull it down towards us. Okay. This will be the first wash. All right. It'll be fun. You'll see. You'll see. All right. Then the background is going to be all this, like it's a little bit of a warm purple. All these buildings. See, well, look. It makes it so easy. Just group them all together. Group them all together. Slam that bitch in there. Boom. Get her done. Don't even worry about it. See that right there? I just bypassed all those details. Who cares about the details? Okay. Then what we're going to do, that's the beauty of a thumbnail. You don't have to worry about the details. But you can also add them if you want to. That's the great thing. All right. Now let's go ahead and put in the color for the little. It might have to be a little bit warmer than that for the sidewalk. You got to make the sound effects too. You make your sound effects, it really does help, because it takes your mind off what you're doing and you're just kind of trying to have fun. Okay. Now we want to take some of that blue again for the sky. I'm just going to get Corellian blue. I'm going to throw it up in here like this. Throw it up in here like this. Go throw it up in here like this. Work quick, don't worry about it. Now I want that grass to pop in between the shadow of the buildings and the. I want this to pop. Boom! Get in there. Give me some color, people. Give me some color. Come on! I need the color. I need the color. Pull it forward. Okay. Great, great, great. Next thing we need is some of those trees in the background. Boom, 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 boom. Get those trees in there, okay, people? Get those trees in there, all right? Now, what we got to do is we got to revisit our reflection. Now that we've adjusted a whole bunch of things, we got to revisit our reflection. Okay, so we're going to come down in here. Give it a little squint so you can see the value, okay? Don't paint the whole thing. Leave a little bit of variance. All right, people, leave some variance. All right. Now it's kind of tricky to try to make a reflection on something this small, but you know, we can do it. I got faith in us. I got faith that we can make that happen. No problem. Just got to calm down a little bit. Let some of the white parts shine through. Okay? Let some of the white parts shine through. All right. Now let's go back up into our towers. They're probably dry by now. Ready to be dealt with. Those dirty towers. We're going to deal with them. Warming up a little bit of orange. There we go. It's kind of like a vermilion color. It's funny because you don't know what the hell any of these words mean. Then you start painting. Now you're like, oh, I know what vermilion is. Oh, I know what Corellian is. Oh, I know what French ultramarine is. You know, I remember watching people paint and hear them call out the colors and be like, oh man, I'm never going to learn all those colors. Like, what the hell? Where are they getting all this stuff? But it comes to you. And it's not even a big deal. It's really simple. All right. So there we go. We got that all laid out there. We're starting to look a little bit like a Ghibli cartoon, aren't we? A little bit. Just a little bit. A little bit. Absorb some of that water. Looking nice. Looking real nice. Then we want to take some of that color and we want to put it into our reflection. Okay? Put it into our reflection. Alright, now it looks like it's really dark over to the right. So grab it. More of that blue, French ultramarine blue. Throw it down, throw it down. There we go. And it's a little bit more green to the left. So we'll go ahead and put some green in there. Vary it up a little bit. A little bit green, a little bit green, a little bit green. Okay? And let it do its thing. Let it do its thing. Alright. Now, we're going to go back up to the towers in a second. Because what we want to do is we want to put the suggestion of the shadows in. And then finally we'll put that little roof on. Then we'll add the trees. Then we'll finish with our touch up with our reflection and we'll call it a day. Okay? So what I'm looking at right now, it still looks like it could be a little too wet. Still could be a little too wet. Let me see. Let's see. Can we put this window in without it going crazy? Can we put this window in without it going crazy? It's okay if it kind of bleeds out on us. No big deal. But we don't want it like running down the whole page. It looks like it wants to run down the whole page, but remember, you got to manage the wetness of the paper. That's part of watercolor. Okay, how the edges work. All right. Now we got some green because the trees are popping through right here. Right there, okay. And then we got back to the purple over here because there are no trees popping through over here. Now notice how I was telling you, the water, it wasn't ready, right? It was too wet still. You see how down here, all of the windows I put in ran to the bottom? It's too wet, remember that, people. So next time, if you're gonna do it, you know, and you think it might be too wet, remember that, it is too wet, okay? So let me dry up some of these beads of water. Now I'm going to come back in here and reinstall the windows. Now it's okay because look what it did. It made like this nice patina all over the building, right? It made it look real nice. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come in here with some of that green, and I'm just going to work on the trees in the background. Okay. Just going to do some suggestions of the different things that the shadows, the clumps of leaves and the shadows, and there's a lot of eucalyptus trees around here, around this part of San Diego and in Balboa Park. So some of them are eucalyptus trees, some of my favorite trees, so we'll go ahead and leave it like that. Now see, those are going to stay. Those aren't going to run because the paper is a little bit more dry. Okay, now let's go ahead and we're going to bang in a couple of these little reflections. It's going to run down like that. I'm going to absorb them, manipulate them just a bit. Okay. More of a, there we go. More of a red, a warmer purple over here. More of a green or a cooler purple on the other side. You know, when you're talking about color, you start to think in 3D. There's 3 dimensions to color. And the 3 dimensions are the hue, of course, warm and cool. All right. Then how much is it saturated? Okay, so that's how you can move around in the 3 dimensions when you're thinking about color. And once you start thinking of like that, you forget a little bit what colors you're doing. And you just think, oh, I need something warmer. I need something cooler. I need something more saturated. I need something less saturated. And that's kind of how I think when I'm trying to move around and push the image around in the 3 dimensions of space, push it back towards the back or bring it more towards the front or whatever it is like that. Like I'm looking right now and I'm saying, okay, well I need more vibrance, more saturation in the blue. So I'm gonna, you know, get a stronger blue, mix it up, add it in here, bring this to life. Now I can put those lily pads over it anytime I want to, and they're really gonna pop it all out, bring it all to life. Okay. Now another thing I want to do is I want to put a shadow. I'm going to ground these bushes back here. Put a shadow on them so they feel like they're connected to the ground. And a little bit same with right there. A little bit same with right here. And so on and so forth. Okay, now we still got to tackle the building. We have to get our dark green. We got to do it all over again because we fucked up, right? We messed up. How do we mess up? Well, we messed up because it was too wet. It was too wet, so we got to learn that lesson, and we got to come back, and we got to try again. Okay? It might be too wet again. Let me dry off that brush. All right? Let me get this blue going right here. Get this blue going. Get this wind up. Get this. Oh, see, it looks like it's going to work this time. So that's good. Remember, these are supposed to be green, but let's leave a little bit of a... Oh, it might be too wet. But that's okay. We got time constraints right now, so we're going to go ahead and put those in there. And if they run around, if they bleed on us, we'll deal with it. And that's one of the things you have to manage. You have to manage how wet your paper is, okay? And it changes how everything acts. All right, now I'm going to put in that orange-red roof, and orange, magenta, darker gray roof. Here. Oh, you gotta kind of stay away from. It's gonna bleed down. It's gonna happen. Normally I might have waited a little bit longer, but I don't got time. We're gonna get this done. All right. Now the thing what I want to do is I want to put in the lily pads. Okay. So the lily pads. The whole reason I even painted this was to get to the lily pads. So we're finally there. Get yourself some turquoise. Get yourself some nice bright yellow. Okay. Bright yellow, and then come in here and throw yourself a couple of lily pads in here. Okay. Now probably should be a little bit lighter in value, but like I said, for the sake of time, we're gonna rush through this. But that's okay. That's what a thumbnail is, right? That's what a thumbnail is. Doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. Let's get some of these. I'll let it kind of mix in there. Get some more of this orange yellow. And I might even put 1 or 2 reds. Now see how right there was too wet? See how it all just kind of came together like a big sloppy mess? Yeah, that happens. Even to the best of us. Even to me, man, that happens. Look, see, we put this door in here, it got too wet, or it was too wet still, wasn't dry enough, and it just ran all the way down here. So just reabsorb it, get rid of it. This one did good though, right? This one did good, this one did good, and this one did good, okay? And these over here did good, but not down here. No big deal. Lesson learned, right? We got it. We'll pay more attention to that next time. We'll understand it next time. We'll get it right. But this is just a thumbnail. See, that's why it's so good to do these small thumbnails, because you make mistakes and it's no big deal, okay? Now, I'm going to take this right here and I'm just going to go like this. Boom, boom. Put some of that. Look at how cool that is. Look how cool that is. Hope I didn't get any on the lens. Don't worry, I got a lens protector. I already thought ahead about that. All right. Couple orange, couple orange. All right. Well, that's a bit much. We'll leave it like that. Okay. So then let's go ahead and remove this, and we'll see what we got. Now, isn't that fun? Isn't that fun? All right, and then bam, there we are. We got it. So we got all 3 of these. Let's check them out. Don't they look fun? Don't they look nice? Yeah, a little trip down to Balboa Park. We had a good time. We made something artistic. The number one thing you have to do is manage that critical eye. First, you're excited. You're out there, right? You're at Balboa Park. You're excited to be there. Now, your next mission is to just paint and use your impulse control to keep that critical eye at bay. And then look, you go ahead and you'll come away, you'll finish up all your thumbnails. All your thumbnails are finished up. See that? They're all finished up. It's a whole page right there of thumbnails. How beautiful does that look, right? We got different styles in there, we got different things going on, we're having a good time. And it's a lot like what we were talking with Neil about. I said, hey Neil, have you ever, painted something and you get really down on yourself and then you put it away and then you come back a week later and you say, oh, you know what, that's a lot better than I thought it was. That's what's gonna happen to you. Mark my words. And when it does happen to you, I want you to come back and tell me. Send me a DM, post it on Twitter, whatever, and tell me. Say, Ray, what you said, it happened. It happened to me. Say, hell yeah. So people, get out there. I know we're running a little bit late, 57 minutes. Come on now, we're gonna get through this. Have a good time, kick some ass, get out there and paint, even if it's a couple of thumbnails, especially if it's a couple of thumbnails, do your thumbnails. Come on, people.